ස්ක්‍රීන් එක පේනවනේ සුභාෂිනී.
ඔව් සර්.
right. අපි යමු එතකොට ටෙස්ට් එක ස්පීකින් ටෙස්ට් එකට කම්ප්ලීට් කරපු ටොපික් ටික තියෙනවා මේ ටික කරන්න ඉන්න ටොපික්ස් ටික තමයි මේ ටික. පෙට් ස්කේල සබ්මිට් කරනවා කිව්වා. එතකොට ඔයා මේකෙන් කැමති ටොපික් එකක් තියෙනවා.
Daily routine sir.
රූටින් එකට right. සුභාෂිනී වගේ අර ඒ ඔයා කරපු ටෙස්ට් එකේ සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකක් විතර වගේ ඊමේල් එකට ඇවිල්ලා ඇති. ඒක දැන් ලකුණු මදි හින්දා ඔයා දෙතුන් පාරක් තව උත්සාහ කරලා ලකුණු වැඩිපුර ගන්න බලන්න. හොඳද? ඒක ඕන තරම්
හරි
වාරයක්
සර්.
උත්සාහ කරන්න පුළුවන්. හොඳද? නැවත නැවත try කරලා කට්ටියගේ ලකුණු අනුව මම ඉස්සරහට group වලට බෙදලා මේව කරනවා. අපි බලමු. right. අපි එතකොට මේකේ ස්පීකින් ටෙස්ට් එකට යන්න. question on familiar topics. එතකොට familiar topics කියලා අපි කරනවා දැන්. IELTS exam එකේ වගේ. ඒකේ parts තුන අපි හැම එකේම කියනවා වගේ. පළවෙනි එක familiar topic, දෙවෙනි එක speech එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ තුන්වෙනි එක discussion mode එක. එතකොට familiar topics. right. Time to relax. බලමු. Do you have enough free time? What are your favorite leisure activities? How do you relax on days off from work or studies? In this section, a student called Vanessa answers questions about leisure activities. We know the you will study useful language to talk about leisure times and then practice answering questions about the topic yourself. Exam format part 1, 4 to 5 minute interview at the part 1, the speaking test. The examiner asks you general questions on some familiar topics, such as your work, studies, daily routine, family, or interest. අපි බලමු මේකේ අහන questions ටික. මේකේ what leisure activities do young people enjoy in Vanessa's country? පළවෙනි question එක. Playing online video games, going to nature places. දෙවෙනි question එක. Who did Vanessa play when as a child? Her brothers and sisters, other children in the neighborhood. තුන්වෙනි එක. What new hobby does Vanessa have? Painting with watercolors, making clothes. Does Vanessa think she has enough free time generally? No, she doesn't. Yes, she does. ඔය questions ටිකට answer කරන්න බලමු සුභාෂිනී. මේක අහන් ඉඳලා බලන්න කොහොමද මොනවද ඔයාගේ answers කියලා try එකක් දෙන්න.
Now, let's go on to talk about leisure time. What leisure activities do young people enjoy in your country?
People really enjoy going out, either to eat out or just to have a drink with friends. That's very common. In their free time, if they have, for example, break from studies, they would usually go to the beach or the mountain, also with their friends or family. There are others who enjoy practicing sports, such as soccer or baseball or basketball.
And what did you enjoy doing in your free time as a child?
As a child, I think that I spent most of my time either playing with friends or watching TV. We used to play a lot in my neighborhood. There were a lot of kids my own age or similar ages, and we used to just get together and play outside.
And have your leisure activities changed in the last few years?
Yes, I have. For example, right now I'm learning how to knit. I'm actually making a scarf. This is an activity that I always wanted to learn, but I didn't have enough time in the past, so I'm doing it now. And I do have other activities that are the same as in the past. I enjoy coloring books, I enjoy watching TV.
And do you think you have enough leisure time?
I do. I think so. And if I don't, I try to make it so I can have free time to do other things.
Thank you.
What leisure activities do young people enjoy in Vanessa's country? මොකද හිතන්නේ සුභාෂිනී?
Going to nature places.
Who did Vanessa play with as a child? කාත් එකද play කරේ?
Other children in the neighborhood.
Right. What new hobby does Vanessa have?
Painting and watercolors. Painting with watercolors.
Okay. Does Vanessa think she has enough free time generally?
Yes, she does.
Right. එකක් වැරදිලා තියෙනවා. Painting watercolor එක making clothes කියන එක හරි answer එක. ඒක විතරයි miss වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි. ඒක listing එක තව improve කරගමු. අපි ඉස්සරහට යමු. Exam focus එක. Talking about leisure times. Leisure activities. What you do to relax in your free time. ඔය free time එකේ ඔය relax වෙන්න කරන දේවල් වලට තමයි අපි leisure activities කියලා කියන්නේ. It's a common topic in part 1. part 1 එකේ common topic එකක් ලෝ. ඒකෙන් හොඳට practice කරගන්න. අපේ ක්ලාස් එකේ හැමෝම මේ topic එක practice කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ final exam එකට කලින්. ඒතර randomly තමයි අපි අහන්නේ. Here are some words and phrases you can use to talk about it. Activities. To say that you don't do very much. Or only do something in a casual way, not very seriously. You can use the word just. කෙනවා serious නැති දෙයක් කරනවා නම් නිතරම කරන්නේ නැති දෙයක් කරනවා නම් ඔයාලා just කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. For example, I just relax at the weekend. We casually just watch TV in the evening. We usually just watch TV in the evening. මේවා seriously කරන්නේ නැති දේවල් වලට නැත්නම් නිතරම කරන්නේ නැති දේවල් වලට අපි just කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා. When talking about some activities you do, you could mention who you spend time with or hang out with. Hang out with and then spend time. Well, you need to use different verbs depending on the activities. For example, play, ball sports. Ball sports so we play use tennis, games at home, video games, and music. Do the non-ball sports so we do yoga, creative habits, hobbies like origami. මොකක්ද මේ origami කියන්නේ? මම දන්නේ නැහැ. ආ දන්නවද මේක මොකක්ද කියන්නේ?
ඒක කලාවක්.
මම දන්නේ එක පොඩ එන්න බා. මේ වගේ එක එක හදන ඒවා නේද? ඔයාලට ස්ක්‍රීන් එක පේනවද?
ඔව් සර්. ඔව් handcraft.
ඒ වගේ හදන එකනේ. එතකොට ඒ වගේ ඒවාට do කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්ලු. අපිට නිකන් ඒක පුරුද්දට වගේ ඔක්ස්ෆර්ඩ් ලර්නර්ස් එක කරනවා. Origami, noun. It's a noun.
Origami. Origami.
Origami. Origami.
The Japanese art of folding paper into attractive shapes. On Oxford Learners එක ලස්සන දෙක කියලා. Right. අපි back to lesson එකට යනවා. Okay. එතකොට origami කියන්නේ papers නමල කරන එක ආර්ට්ස් හදන ඒවා නැත්නම් යෝගා වගේ ඒවාට do කියලා පාවිච්චි කරනවා. If you go somewhere for the activity, go කියන එක go to the gym, go cycling, go jogging. ඒ වගේ activities වලට පාවිච්චි කරන එක වචන තමයි එයා කියන්නේ. Hobbies වල play, do, go කියන එක.
On Saturdays, I like to hang out with friends or just relax at home.
I often go running on Sundays, and sometimes I cook or do some drawing.
Right. It's a time again. To say how long you have done an activity, that is when you first started doing it until now. Use the present perfect. You can also talk about how much time you spend doing an activity generally, the number of hours per week, and how often you do an activity. A couple of times a week, most days, once or twice a month. ඒ වගේ උදාහරණ අපි බලමු මොකද කියන්නේ කියලා.
I've played the guitar for about 5 years, and I've always enjoyed singing.
I spend quite a lot of time doing sport, and I go to the gym a couple of times a week.
සුභාෂිනී කොලයක් අරගෙන පොඩ්ඩක් රෙඩි වෙන. දැන් ඔයා leisure time එකට කරන activity එක ගැන පොඩි speech එකක් කියන්න තියෙනවා. ඒතර මේවා පාවිච්චි කරලා. Activities. ඒතර time එක ඔයා කරන කොහොමද ඒක කරන්නේ? ඒතර අන්තිම why you like an activity or choose it. ඇයි ඒකට කැමති? Use adjectives such as fun, relaxed, exciting to describe activities. To say how you feel when you do them. How they make you feel. Note the different forms of regular adjectives. I'm interested in photography. I find photography interesting. කැමති දෙයට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. A useful phrase is X is an escape from something. But use it to say an activity stops you thinking about problems. අපි බලමු උදාහරණ කොහොමද එයා කියන්නේ කියලා.
I feel healthier when I do Tai Chi, and it makes me feel relaxed.
I find science fiction interesting. It's a nice escape from the real world.
Right. එතකොට අපි ඉස්සරහට යමු. දැන් සුභාෂිනීගේ practice time එක.
On Saturdays, I like to hang out with friends or just relax at home.
On Saturday, I like to hang out with friends or just relax at home.
I often go running on Sundays, and sometimes I cook or do some drawing.
I often go running on Sundays, and sometimes I cook or do some drawings. I often go running on Sundays, and sometimes I cook or do some drawing.
I've played the guitar for about 5 years, and I've always enjoyed singing.
I've played the guitar for about 5 years, and I've always enjoyed singing. I've played the guitar for about 5 years, and I've always enjoyed singing.
I spend quite a lot of time doing sport, and I go to the gym twice a week.
I spend quite a lot of time doing sport, and I go to the gym twice a week. I spend quite a lot of time doing sport, and I go to the gym twice a week.
I feel healthier when I do Tai Chi, and it makes me feel relaxed.
I feel healthier when I do Tai Chi, and it makes me feel relaxed. I feel healthier when I do Tai Chi, and it makes me feel relaxed.
I find science fiction interesting. It's a nice escape from the real world.
I find science fiction interesting. It's a nice escape from the real world. I find science fiction interesting. It's a nice escape from the real world.
Right. යමු ඉස්සරහට. When I'm not working, I like to කියන එක තමයි මේකේ. එතකොට මේ වාගේ දැන් සුභාෂිනීට තමයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Now it's your turn to answer questions on familiar topics. You are going to hear some questions about leisure time and record your answer. In the exam, this section lasts 4 to 5 minutes. For this practice activity and try to talk 1 to 2 minutes in total. Before you start, you will see some tips to help. බලමු සුභාෂිනී බලනවා try කරලා පුළුවන් තරම් කතා කරන්න. ඔයාගේ leisure activity මේ answers මේ යාගේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට.
What are your favourite leisure activities?
Sometimes I do painting. It means watercolors and tube colors with uh, with a lot of with lot of chalk, and I paint it with large scale of uh, canvas cloth. Then I think some of my friends like that, and they really appreciate, and I gave them uh, it very low cost. And also sometimes I enjoy with origami, and it is very interesting handcraft which made of lot of various colors of papers, and we can uh, fold it very proper way, and it
Okay. අපි
gains.
ඊළඟ question එකට යමු. හොඳයි සුභාෂිනී, හොඳයි, very good.
And what do you like about these activities exactly?
Actually, I really like these activities because it is very calm and quiet mind I can gain from that. And also it is not very hard working work.
Okay.
I can.
Okay. Right. Very good.
Do you do any activities regularly?
I think I really like to have very calm and quiet activities. It gave me very pleasure more than hard working.
Okay.
Okay. And what free time activities did you enjoy as a child?
As a child, I really like to drawing. It means my mom gave me a lot of pastels and as well as drawing books, and I really like to draw whatever I found a picture. I draw it like that. I try to draw like that. It gave me very pleasure, and
Right.
I
What new free time activity would you like to try?
If I have a chance, I really like to paint a fabric with fabric, and sometimes I try that sometime, and it is also really enjoyable. I painted some friends' sari also. It gave me very pleasure and keep my mind very relaxed.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, සුභාෂිනී. Very good. ඔයා පළවෙනි පාර වල ගොඩක් improve කරගෙන තියෙන speech එක. හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ IELTS art එක ඕක තමයි. නවත්තනකම් කතා කරන එක. එතකොට ඒක තව තව improve කරගන්න එක ඊට පස්සේ කරගන්න ඕන දෙයක්. නමුත් මොනවා හරි කතා කරන එක හරිය important. ඒතර මොඩල් ආන්සර් එක අපි බලමු. මොඩල් ආන්සර් එකත් එක්ක බලලා මේක හොඳට improve කරගන්න. අපේ team එකේ course එකේ ඉන්න හැමෝම improve කරගන්න. final exam එකේ මේ topic එක ආවොත් හොඳට කතා කරනවා කියලා improve කරගන්න. අනිත් අයටත් support එක දෙනවා.
What are your favourite leisure activities?
Let me think. I have a few, actually. I do quite a lot of sport during the week, but some evenings I'm tired after work, so I just like to relax at home and maybe watch a film or play video games.
And what do you like about these activities exactly?
Well, there are a number of things. I go jogging in the morning because it wakes me up and makes me feel ready for the day. I enjoy doing karate because it keeps me fit. I think films and video games are just a nice escape. I can relax and forget about my problems.
Do you do any activities regularly?
Like I said, I go jogging most mornings when the weather's good, and I do karate a couple of times a week.
Okay. And what free time activities did you enjoy as a child?
When I was a child, I enjoyed listening to music, and I played a bit of guitar too. I was even in a band with some friends for a while, but we weren't very good. We had a lot of fun though. What else? I also enjoyed playing video games. I still do, actually.
What new free time activity would you like to try?
Well, I've always wanted to try painting. I did art in primary school and I was quite good at it, but I haven't done it since then. So I'd like to have some lessons, or I might just buy some paints and watch some videos and learn that way.
Right, මේක පළවෙනි ටිප් එක තමයි using play go to before activities කියන එක. Do karate. Play karate කියන්නේ go jogging. එතකොට ඒ ටික තමයි එතන පොඩ්ඩක් highlight කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ linking ideas කියන එක. So because වගේ ඒවා දාලා ඒ විදිහට using adjectives to describe activities. I'm tired after work, keeps me fit, makes me feel ready for the day. We had a lot of fun. I was quite good at it. First part එක සුභාෂිනී සාර්ථක අවසන් කරා. කලින් එකට වඩා ගොඩක් හොඳයි. සුභාෂිනී මේ වගේ දෙවෙනි ටෙස්ට් එක නේද? දෙකද
ඔව්
තුනද?
සර්.
දෙකනේ.
දෙක සර්.
හරි තව එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක හොඳට perform කරන්න. හැම topic එකකටම training වෙන්න. අනිත් ඒවාත් encourage කරන්න. Right, අපි second part එකට යමු. Time to get going. අපි බලමු. Do you have a busy daily routine? What is your favorite part of the day? Would you like to change anything about your routine? In this section, Vanessa talks about what she does on a normal weekday. We'll prepare a talk about your daily routine and then record yourself. In part 2 of the speaking test, you will be given a card with a topic. හැමදාම අපි කියනවා වගේ topic එකක් දෙනවා card එකක. එතකොට you will have 1 minute to think about the topic and then you will have to talk for 1 to 2 minutes about it. The topics are usually about you or things you have done. එතකොට අපි යමු මේ topic එකට. අපි බලමු මෙයාගේ මේ topic එකට. Describe your daily routine. You should say what your routine is on a normal weekday. දිනචරියාව නේ routine එක කියන්නේ දිනචරියාව දිනචරියා. Which part of the day you enjoy most? What you would like to change about your routine? And explain why your routine has to be like this. So Vanessa කියන එක අහලා අපි බලමු which 3 things does Vanessa say about her daily routine. බලමු. ඊට පස්සේ අපි select කරගමු මොනවද තුන කියලා.
Okay. So remember, you have 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I interrupt you because I will tell you when the time is up. And can you start speaking now, please?
So I'm gonna describe my daily routine. I usually wake up around 9 a.m. I'm not really a morning person. After I wake up, I usually have breakfast with my husband. We usually have a simple breakfast, just coffee and toast or oatmeal. After that, I usually take a shower and then I start studying. I sometimes stay at home and study at home. I sometimes go to the university, or I sometimes go to a different place just to have a different or a change in my routine. I take breaks while I'm studying, and during those breaks I usually eat or just enjoy my free time, relaxing, watching TV or doing another activity. Then at night is usually when I have more free time. I sometimes go out. Sometimes we eat out or go to a pub and have a drink. So other nights we go to the movies. Sometimes I just stay home and watch a movie or a TV series And I would have to say that that's the part of the day that I enjoy the most, because it's my free time and I can do things that I like. Also, some days if I'm staying at home, I have to take care of the house, and so do some chores like doing the laundry or cooking.
Thank you.
Right. එතකොට මොනවද ප්‍රධාන තුන Vanessa say about her daily routine? මොනවද? guess කරලා යන්න ඉස්සරහට. සුභාෂිනී නෝ නේද?
Also, she likes to get up very early.
All right.
She exercises in the morning.
All right.
She takes breakfast from studying.
Right. හරි. අපි බලමු ඉස්සරහට කියලා.
Her perspective.
එසින්දව මම දැන් ආයෙ යන්න බෑ ඒකට. හරි. මේක කියන්නේ මොකද වෙනස් කරනවා?
Evening are the favorite time. First එක නැතුව surname.
Right. හරි. ඒ මොකක් කර mistake එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. The correct answer, she takes breaks from studying. Breaks ගන්නවා. Sometimes she goes to a restaurant. Evening are her favorite time. Right. What's her favorite time? එතකොට එකයි recording එක අහලා බලන්න. practice කරන්න කොහෙද miss වුනේ කියලා. Organizing එතකොට අපේ test එකේ අපි group එකේ තියෙන test එකෙත් ඔය listening part එක check කරනවා. එතකොට making එක grab කරගෙන බලන්න. Organizing your talk. දැන් සුභාෂිනී ඔයා prepare වෙන කොලයක් අරගෙන ඔයාගේ speech එක දෙන්න මෙන්න මේ topic එක යටතේ. දැන් මේක විස්තර කරද්දිම ඔයා prepare කරගන්න. ඒක ලේසි. Remember, in part 2 of the test you will get දැන් IELTS එකේ මේක කතා කළාම දැන් ඔයාලා හොඳට දන්නවා. Part 2 of the test you will get a topic to talk about and some suggestions of things you could include. Here is the topic card that Vanessa was given. Look at how she used it to organize her talk. Describe your daily routine. You should say what your routine is on a normal weekdays. Which part of the day you enjoy most? What you would like to change about your routine? And explain why your routine has to be like this. What your routine is on a normal weekdays. Vanessa gives a lot of information about this. She describes her routine from when she wakes up to what she does at night. This is an easy question to prepare an easy question. Make sure you know the basic verb phrases for routine. අන්න එක තමයි මේකේ වැදගත් එක. routine වල basic verbs ටික. For example, get up, take a shower, have breakfast, leave the house, get to work, have a break, go home, make dinner, go out. ඒ වගේ වචන ටික. Then add details like how you travel, what you eat, where you go out. වගේ දේවල්. Which part of the day you enjoy most? මෙන්න මේ දැන් සුභාෂිනීගේ topic speech එක මේ කැරියට prepare කරගන්න. But which part of the day you enjoy most? Vanessa says that she isn't a morning person. මම නම් morning person කෙනෙක් මේ දවස් ටිකේ නෑ සාමාන්‍ය morning person කෙනෙක්. The evening is her favorite time because it's my free time and I can do things that I like. තර හවස තමයි ගොඩක් අය වැඩ කරන්නේ කැමති දේවල්. A morning person is someone who enjoy being active early in the morning. A night owl, on the other hand, රැයට පාඩම් කරලා නිදා ගන්න ඉන්නවා. උදේ පාන්දර අවදිලා පාඩම් කරලා ඉන්න ඒ වගේ. Enjoy being active late at night. තොර morning person and night owl කියලා අපිට කියනවා. You can use around, early, mid, late ඒ වචන කැලේ දෙක and before and after to add details to time and time periods. Around 9, 9 අවට වගේ. The late morning, before lunch, after work, early evening. For example, remember to say why you enjoy parts of the day. I love the early morning because that's when I go for my run. Why you would like to change about your routine? What you would like to change about your routine? Vanessa doesn't say anything about this. Remember, saying something about each point makes it easier to talk for 2 minutes. තොර හැම පොයින්ට් එකක් ගැනම කියන එක වැදගත් දේ තමයි විනාඩි දෙකක් කතා කරන එක. You could use instead of කියන වෙනකොට to say what activity you would like to change. For example, I would like to eat out more instead of making dinner. ඒ කියන්නේ ලියෙන් කන්න කැමතිලු instead of වෙනුවට making dinner එක හදන්න වඩා every night. Explain why your routine has to be like this. තොර මේක අවසාන part එක. Vanessa doesn't say anything about this. In your talk, you could say why you have to or need to do certain things, or why you can't change something. For example, I need to wake up early because it takes me an hour to go to work. Or I can't go out much in the evening because it's my final year at university and I have to study. ඒක explain why your routine ඇයි මෙහෙම මේ routine එකක් මට තියෙන කියලා අන්තිමට කියන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයිලු. ඒතර ඔයාගේ speech එක ඔයා කියන්න why your routine is in a normal week, what කොහොමද normal week day වල වෙන්නේ, which part of the day you enjoy most, what you would like to change about your routine, explain why your routine has to be like this. Training part එක සුභාෂණීගේ.
I leave the house at 8 and I get to work around 9.
I leave the house at 8 and I get to work around 9. I leave the house at...
Sorry.
I have early morning classes and I'm usually finished by 12.
I have early morning classes and I'm usually finished by 12. I have early morning classes and I'm usually finished by 12.
We often have our busiest time just after lunch.
We often have our busiest time just after lunch. We often have our busiest time just after lunch.
I like the evening best because that's when I'm free.
I like the evening best because that's when I am free. I like the evening best because that's when I am free.
I'd like to eat out more instead of making dinner every night.
I would like to eat out more instead of making dinner every night. I would like to eat out more instead of making dinner every night.
Right. Comparison එක skip කරනවා. Right. ඔන්නවාගේ topic එක 2 minute කතා කරන් තියෙන second part එක. Now it's your turn to talk about your daily routine. You will see the topic and list point you should talk about and you will have 1 minute to prepare. 1 minute හම්බ වෙනවා. මම 1 minute දෙනවා. ඔයා prepare වෙන්න. ඊට පස්සේ 2 minute continuous කතා කරන් try එකක් දෙන්න. එන්න ඔයාගේ topic එක. Describe your daily routine. You should start. ඒතර මම මිනිත්තුව පටන් ගන්නවා.
I get up early in the morning. It means
ඔයාගේ මිනිත්තුව ඉවර නෑ. සුභාෂිනී ඔයා ready නම් ඕකේ මම play කරන්න පොඩක්. මම එහෙනම් ඔයාගේ play කරනවා. ඔයා කියනවා. ඔයාගේ speech එක ඔයා ready නම් කියන්න. හරි. ඔන්න මම මේ රතු පාට එක click කරනවා.
I get up early in the morning. It means 4:45 a.m. and I have to prepare our lunch and as well as morning meal together. And I rush to my work and also ready to my son also. He also want to go to school at the same time. Then we both go in same way. And after my schooling, I come back home, and again I have very short time leisure period, and that time I used to make some short eats for our tea time, and we taste it together. And after that, I have to prepare our dinner also. And after that, that is my free time, and I watch movies as well as enjoy some music as well. After all, I used to go to bed at 10 p.m. and it is my daily routine, I think.
sorry මම ගොඩක් කියලා තියෙන්නේ මේ mute කරගෙන sorry එතකොට මේක එච්චර දෙයක් නැහැ using different time phrases can explain කරන්න and then in the morning මේ වගේ කැලේ ටික අපි පාවිච්චි කරගන්න පුළුවන් later on a bit early in the afternoon තර recording එකේ මේ බලලා ලියලා අනිත් කටියටත් කියලා දෙන්න උදව් කරන්න එතකොට එතකොට ඊළඟ කැලල never very hungry saying how often things happen so I usually just have one piece of toast most afternoon the frequency ගැන කියන එක ඒක අන්තිම කැලල තමයි අර contraction පාවිච්චි කරන එක IELTS වල නිතරම contraction පාවිච්චි කරනකොට ඒක more natural කියලා ඒකට ලකුණු දෙනවා ලකුණු දෙන ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි contraction පාවිච්චි කරලා කතා කරද්දී එතකොට මේක ලියන්න type කරන්න අනිත් අයට share කරන්න practice කරන්න ඔයාලා කතා කරලා ප්‍රශ්න අහලා practice කරගන්න අනිවාර්යෙන් team එකක් විදිහට ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕනේ අද group test එකේ ලකුණු වැඩි අයට මම students ලා දෙන්න හරි බෙදලා group එකේ හැමෝම උඩට එන විදිහට මම බලන plan එකක් දාලා බලමු right අපි අන්තිම part එක සුභාෂිනී හොඳයි improve වෙලා තියෙනවා අන්තිම part එක බලමු try එකක් දෙමු the same thing every day බලමු what are the advantages of having a routine do you think it's important to change what you do sometimes is it possible to live without a routine in this section you will listen to Vanessa responding to questions in part 3 about routine and why we have them. You will study some useful phrases for giving reasons and making your meaning clear and record your own responses to questions about routine. Exam format part 3 the discussion make a part 3 ke balama speaking test එක exam will ask more general questions around the topic part 2 in your discussion you give opinion about different situation provide examples and explanation අපි try එකක් දෙමු මේක අපි එක training එකට මුලින් අහලා බලමු මේක කොහොමද listening එකේ වාට පුළුවන් ද මේකට answers දෙන්න කියලා when it says routine help us use our time better when it thinks routine are a modern idea Vanessa thinks it's easy to live with no routine. Vanessa thinks people should be strict about their routine. අපි බලමු මේකේ මොකද answers කියලා අහන් ඉඳලා. අපි විනාඩි 3යි තප්පර 30ක් කතා කරන්නේ.
So, we've been talking about your daily routine, and I'd like to talk now a bit more about routine. So, why do you think people have a routine? Why do they do the same thing every day?
But sometimes because we are forced to have routines.
By whom?
By society, and if you work, for example, you are forced to wake up at a certain time so you can arrive to your job at a certain time. And so people, I think that it's easier for people to organize their time if they have routines. If you don't have a routine, perhaps you're not going to be able to do all the things that you enjoy, but because you didn't plan them. And
do you think that people have always followed routines throughout history, or do you think it's it's something specific to our modern lifestyle?
No, I think that routines have always existed, and also it has to do with the amount of daylight hours that you have. I think if you would compare people who live in places where you have 8 hours a day, or as opposed to other places where you have more hours, their routine are going to vary a lot. They're going to be different from each other. But yeah, I think that people really enjoy having a routine.
Do you think it's possible to live without any routines? Just every day is different?
I think it would be very difficult. I guess there are people who don't like to stick to routines and they just prefer to live day by day. But at some point, I think it's easier for you to just to have a routine. Like, you have to have a routine. I mean, you're gonna get hungry, you're gonna need to take a shower, you have to wake up at a certain hour.
But do you think sometimes people get stuck in routines and it's a good idea to sometimes break routines?
Yeah, because for example, if you work, if you have like an office job and you work from a specific time every single day, and then if you just finish your job and go home and then do nothing else, I think that people may get at the point of that their routine is going to become really boring and really repetitive, especially if they are not willing to do something else.
You were talking about planning, how routines help us to plan, and how important do you think it is to make a plan every day of what you need to do? Do you think that's necessary?
I think personally, it's really important. It is easier, and it is something that if you plan your day ahead, you know exactly where you're gonna do. But then you don't need to be that strict about your own routine, because if something changes, you cannot control it. You have to be able to deal with it and accept the changes. But I think it's necessary to have a routine and to plan it in advance.
Right. Vanessa says routine help us use our time better. True or false?
True.
Vanessa thinks routine are modern ideas.
True.
Vanessa thinks it's easy to live with no routine.
True.
Vanessa thinks people should be strict about their routine.
True.
අන්තිම හතරම එක වැරදිලා තියෙනවා තුනම. ඒක පොඩක් listening part එක තව ටිකක් improve කරගන්නවා. speaking part එක ගොඩක් හොඳයි සුභාෂිනී. listening part එක ඕනේ අර test එකටත්. ඒකත් වගේ test එකේ තව improve වෙන්න ඕනේ. speaking part එක හොඳයි ටික ටික improve කරගමු අපි ඉස්සරහට. තව ඔයාලට listening part එක improve කරගන්න පුළුවන්. English films subtitle එක බලවනම් හොඳට listening part එක ගොඩක් improve වෙනවා. right අපි ඉස්සරහට යමු. exam focus එක Signposting, giving reason and making your meaning clear. Remember to indicate a signpost. What you are going to say in your answer. This helps the person listening to understand what you are going to say. Giving reason. The most common way to give a reason is with because you can use mainly for the most important reason.
Most people have a routine, mainly because it helps them organise their time.
I have a pretty strict daily routine because of the work I do.
I work and I also have 2 children. Because of that, I need a flexible routine.
My routine changes all the time. That's because I work different hours each week.
Right. Flexible means able to change quickly and easily. Nammashili කියන එක. You can also say that that's why, that's the reason, for example.
I need to make enough time for fun, and that's why I have a routine.
We walk our dogs before breakfast. That's the reason we're up so early.
Alright. That's the reason, that's why කියලා අපිට explain කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේ දෙක දැන් මතක තියාගන්න ටිකක් මේ ටිකෙන් points ටිකක් අරන් ලියා ගන්න. So බෂිනි මොකද ඔයාගේ දැන් speech එක ඔයා දැන් මේ විදිහට කතා කරන්න ඕනේ ඔයාගේ routine එක ගැන අහන ප්‍රශ්න වල. Making your meaning clear. You can add details, example or explanation with I mean or you know.
You have more time if you work from home. I mean, you don't have to travel to work every day.
I like to vary things. You know, try a new lunch place or go jogging in a different park.
You can use, in other words, to show that you are repeating an idea in a different way.
I can't have a strict plan every day. I prefer to be flexible, in other words.
ඔන්නේ වගේ අපිට එක එක විදිහට යූස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ඉස්සරහට යන්කෝ බලන්න. ට්‍රේනින් සෙෂන් එකට යමු.
Routines are useful, mainly because there's less to think about.
Routines are useful mainly because there's less to think about. Routines are useful mainly because there's less to think about.
I have a pretty strict routine because of the work I do.
I have a pretty strict routine because of the work I do. I have a pretty strict routine because of the work I do.
We walk our dogs before breakfast. That's the reason we're up so early.
We walk our dog before breakfast. That's the reason we are up so early. We walk our dog before breakfast. That's the reason we are up so early.
I don't like a fixed routine. I prefer to be flexible, in other words.
I don't like a flexed routine. I prefer to be flexible, in other words. I don't like a flexed routine. I prefer to be flexible, in other words.
You save time working from home. I mean, you don't have to travel to work every day.
You save time working from home. I mean, you don't have to travel to work every day. You save time working from home. I mean, you don't have to travel to work every day.
I like to vary things. You know, try new places for lunch or go jogging in a different park.
I like to vary things. You know, try new places for lunch or go jogging in the different park. I like to vary things. You know, try new places for lunch or go jogging in the different park.
හරි. අපි යමු අපේ ඊට පස්සේ කම්පැරිසන් එකට මම ස්කිප් කරනවා. අපි යනවා academic speech එකට. I like to try and vary things. Now it's your turn to answer questions about routine. You're going to hear some questions and record your answers in the exams. This section lasts 4 to 5 minutes. For this practice actively, try to talk 1 to 2 minutes in total before you start. Some tips to help. උතර බලමු මේකේ සුභාෂිනී පුළුවන් තරම් answer කරන්න මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට try එකක් දෙමු.
Why do you think people have routines?
I mean, all people live in, they all have different works, as well as children also have lot of works for their studies. Therefore, they all have routine every day,
Okay.
I think.
All right, good.
Do you think we've always had routines? Or are they a recent thing?
I think we all have routine every day because we all have to get up early, as well as dress, as well as go out of the home, or inside home you do lot of work as well on time, and we all have to follow lot of work. Therefore, we all follow a routine.
Do you think it's a good idea to vary your routine?
I think routine is this era. Routine is we must do it. In our past era, I think they all followed a lot of routine on their way. I think routine is always based on the time as well as the era.
Okay, and is it important to plan things to do every day?
I think a plan is must, because we all have lot of schedule to work during the day, and children as well as elders, we all have to follow the routine. Time is very limited. We have no way to take time again. Then we also have to, willingly or not, we all have to follow this routine, because we all in very limited time for 24 hours for a day. It is very useful.
Right. And do you think routines can ever be a bad thing?
I don't think so. A routine is always we have to follow, but routine mean doing lot of work is not like that. Take a leisure time also include that. Then take a leisure time and also do a lot of works, as well as just relax, as well as have a very short nap, and also eat and play, and all the necessary things we have to follow. That is the routine. I think we all have a plan and take those all with pleasure. It is very necessary for all.
හොඳයි. සුභාෂිනී ගොඩක් improve කරගෙන තියෙන speech part එක, but listening and reading part එක improve කරගන්න අර exam එකෙන්. exam එක නිතර කරලා ඒක improve කරගන්න පුළුවන්. speech part එක ටිකක් ගොඩක් improve වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඊළඟ එකේ හොඳටම improve කරගන්න. අනිත් topics උත් හොඳට practice කරගන්න. අද ඒතකොට test දෙකක් කරා ගොඩක් හොඳයි. ඒතකොට ඒකේ signposting opinion. signposting වලට යගෙන in my view කියලා අපිට explain කරනවා. I guess කියලා මට explain කරන්න පුළුවන්. අර මම ගොඩ දැක්කේ මෙයාගේ සුභාෂිනී I think කියලා හැම එකටම කිව්වා. That's a nice question. That's ඒ වගේ bad thing question එක repeat කරලා එක එක විදිහට answer කරන්න පුළුවන්. stress එකක් වැඩි ගන්න නැතුව. එතකොට reasons mainly because ඒ වගේ because ඒවා ඊට පස්සේ sign example and so on such as for example making points clear in other words you know එහෙම කියලා I mean I like I said මම කිව්වා වගේ I mean එහෙම කියලා එක point clear කරන්න පුළුවන් right ගොඩක් හොඳයි අද දෙන්නෙක්ම ටෙස්ට් එක කරා තව පොඩ්ඩයි අපිට ඉතුරුලා තියෙන්නේ ඒ topic එකේ level 2 වල අතරම complete කරපු ටික වැඩි දැන් complete කරන්න තියෙන ටිකට වඩා ඒක නිසා අපි බලමු තව කීපයක් තියෙන pets ගැන කතා කරනවා කිව්වා සමිත් තව හතරක් තියෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ තව topics තියෙනවා ඔයාලට තුන ගානේ කරන්න ඉස්සරහට අපි ඒ ටික ටක් ගල කරමු හෙට topics කරන්න කැමති අය message එකක් දාලා තියෙන හැමෝම ටෙස්ට් එක කරන්න ටෙස්ට් එක අනුව මම අපේ ක්ලාස් එකේ අය group කීපයකට බෙදනවා ඒ අය ඒ groups එකතු වෙලා කොහොම හරි හොඳට වැඩ කරලා ඔක්කොම උඩට ගන්න බලමු මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද ඊට අමතරව දැනගන්න දේවල් මොනවා හරි තියෙනවද suggestions anything thank you සුභාෂිනී ඔයා හොඳට කරා තව improve කරගමු
Yes.
right එහෙනම් හැමෝටම good night අපි හෙට හම්බෙමු sessions වලින් speech test කරන අය ගන්න exam එක තව කරන්න ලකුණු ගොඩක් ගන්න එහෙනම් හැමෝටම good night
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night.
okay good